Don't see it.
Don't
Never see it. Anybody, if you're listening to the sound of my voice, don't see that movie. Because they basically, in the first 30 seconds of that movie, completely invalidate the events of Terminator 2.
In times of old, in times of new, there's a God to follow to make it true. It's the pop culture field. And you will.
Okay.
Wow, you really were zoned into that text.
I was. I'm becoming my mom, man. I can't multitask anymore. Okay. Hello and welcome, everybody, to the Pop Culture Field Manual podcast, sitting right at that intersection of weapons, action, the military, and pop culture. That is right. I'm one of your hosts, Cameron Fath, and with me, as always, you know him. He's the smile like a nuclear bomb.
Oh, good. Way to dovetail the theme, man. Israel
like
Wright? Yeah. I'm Israel Wright, former Green Beret, folks. If you don't know that by now, I mean, I feel like a lot of you guys could probably tell us our biographies back to us by now. Now.
But if you're here for the first time, welcome.
Welcome, man. This is the Pop Culture Field Manual podcast. We talk about all things weapons, action, military, and pop culture. And today, we're going nuclear, baby. We're glowing in the night with that radioactivity. It's all about nukes, man.
Nukes, baby.
Anything having to do with, like... And so what I love about what we get to do here on the podcast is we can slice it pretty much any way we want to give ourselves an excuse to talk about whatever we want to.
It's our podcast.
But today, it's all about a nuclear... It's basically about any movie that has to do with a nuclear bomb at the center of the story. There's a stolen one, developing one, whatever you want to do.
Post nuclear war, pre.
But see, even that is its own episode, post-apocalyptic. There was a nuclear winter or something like that.
Absolutely.
Which we'll talk about a little bit when we get to the video games with Fallout and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, totally. Which I'm sure you can nerd all the way.
Oh, I'm gonna nerd all over this place. It's gonna be a mess.
Yeah, you're gonna have to clean up so much nerds. There's gonna be nerd over there, nerd over there.
Amy doesn't like nerd messes.
Oh yeah, totally. But yes, today's episode is all about nuclear warfare, and honestly, it's a scary thing to think about,
dude. Yeah,
because that's the one thing. Obviously, we have infantry, we have mechanized, we have air assets, but that can all go away from a click of a button.
Yeah, man. And it's such a devastating weapon with such long-term consequences. You don't just bomb a place. You bomb a place, and then that place is radioactive for a long time.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know how it is these days, but Hiroshima, there's obviously a town there and stuff like that. But devastation, man. And I feel America, we are the only ones with the dubious honor of having actually used a nuclear bomb twice in a wartime situation.
Oh, yeah. USA! With us!
Yeah, we're going to drop it a bomb on you, boy!
Yeah,
that's right.
Mentioning Hiroshima, because obviously there's, what was it, Hiroshima and... Nagasaki. So I was looking up, how long did it take for them to rebuild after that?
Ooh, that's a good question, man. I actually went to Hiroshima, and they have a whole tour where they
really?
Take you around. There's a whole museum and a whole memorial and stuff like that. Wow. You can see the charred remains of a little bicycle, and there's the building that
nuts.
The only building that was left standing in the whole area.
Yeah, and that's just
there.
The detonation of a bomb. That's not you think about nuclear reactors exploding like Chernobyl, which is still uninhabitable.
And we talked about it at the time.
Sorry, Israel and I were playing footsie at the table. It scared me because I was touching something, and all of a sudden it moved, and I was
a little fleshy.
Yeah, a little fleshy.
That's my rabbit.
But yeah, according to my source here, Hiroshima, the restoration process took approximately 2 years. And the city's population, which had dwindled about 80,000 after the bombing, doubled in short time until March 1946. The ruins were cleared, and buildings that were damaged but still standing underwent controlled demolition. So, yeah, a year of 2 years of recovery.
Yeah, and you know what's funny about that bombing? The first one, the main target of that bombing was a bridge, a very recognizable landmark bridge, and they didn't even take out the bridge.
Oh, perfect. Took out everything. That's the most American thing. We blew up everything we were not supposed to.
Everything around what we were supposed to actually destroy.
America! Yeah!
Well, what
Nuclear bombs!
We love our nukes, folks.
We love our nukes.
We just don't want the bad guys to have them. Only us. No, first movie up, Broken Arrow.
Broken Arrow!
Action movie, folks. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, this was John Woo, too.
John Woo.
Starring Christian Slater and John Travolta in the primes of their careers. Like, this was a big deal because they both have since. I feel like Christian Slater's had a bit of a resurgence in his career.
See, I'm sitting here thinking, who the heck is Christian Slater?
You don't know, have you watched Mr. Robot?
No.
Oh.
Hold on, I just need to see a face.
You got to watch Mr. Robot, dude.
Slater.
Christian Slater. John Woo was directed by John Woo.
The interviewer in Interview with the Vampire.
Yep, there you go.
He was in the movie Heathers.
Yep.
Yeah,
He was
this
in
guy
Gleaming
kind
the
of looks
Cube.
Gleaming the freaking cube, man. Now you're bringing them back, Chris.
Bring it back.
Yeah, I named all things that I knew Cam would know immediately.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, totally. Well, I've seen Interview with the Vampire. It's Brad Pitt, right?
Yeah. And Tom
Yep.
Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
Yep.
And when I say I know it, I've literally just scrolled past it on Netflix. That's the amount of knowledge I have of that. But
That's enough.
that's enough. But yeah, the title's interesting enough because it has a couple meanings in the military.
Yeah.
And a lot of people joke. It's one of those sayings in the military that is like a military cliche, or something goes wrong, someone just yells it because it's, why not? Because it's so funny. So Broken Arrow kind of means like you're being overrun by the enemy, and it's like you're cut off in all ways, and you need immediate fire support.
Yep.
Like, give me all priorities on fire because we're about to literally start calling for fire on our position. That's like a
they're
broken
so
arrow.
close.
Yeah,
Yep.
they're so close. That's like a danger close, and it's like, give me bombs now or everybody's gonna die.
Yep.
So if you hear Broken Arrow over the radio, it's like, oh, like this is not good.
Yep.
But then you also have another meaning for Broken Arrow, which is like a detonation or at least a launch of a nuclear missile or something. So basically, you have a nuclear missile in orbit or on its way en route to its target.
This is one of those classic ones where John Travolta ends up being the bad guy, and he's got this whole terrorist group that they're gonna take him.
Terrorists.
And I think they're trying to like sell it to the highest bidder or something like that. And then Christian Slater and Samantha Mathis, who's the co-star, are the ones who have to go and get him. And he's got the double guns, and which is the classic John Woo trope.
What is this, Face Off?
Yeah. I mean, it's John Woo. John Woo was also Face Off is also a John Woo.
Oh, really?
Movie, yeah.
Then this must be a good action movie.
And there's doves in it. John Woo has a couple things that he always puts in his movies, which is the double gun stuff and then doves. There's always doves.
Like the bird?
Some dude walking away from like doves, like flying out, like
slow motion doves flying away.
Yep, slow motion doves flying away.
I mean, is there a significance to that?
He
or
just
is that
likes
just
them.
his thing?
Yeah, he's a really director.
What? How dare you?
Well, I mean, that's kind of like thinking about Quentin Tarantino and feet, right? There's always feet in a Quentin Tarantino movie.
Yeah, he's got an obsession. He's got a fetish.
Technically, Cam, there's feet in every movie that's ever been made about people.
You're right. Just like every movie is a survival movie.
It's we all know you're here, Chris, but sometimes you just have to. It's okay. I love to hear it. I love to hear it. Yes, there is feet in every movie, and look, this we're trying to solve. Okay, look at that. Boom. Okay.
You just noticed that? That's been going on for like 5 minutes.
I'm trying to block it out, but yeah.
Okay.
Tune into the YouTube to see that.
Yeah.
But anyways.
All right.
So Broken Arrow.
Broken Arrow. I love this. It's classic John Woo movie, and it's good old John Travolta and Christian Slater. Christian Slater, he came back a little bit. I don't know if John Travolta's ever going to come back.
Oh, you don't think so?
No, I mean he did like
He's
the
too
whole
deep in the Scientology.
where he played like it was called the Fan or something like that, or the Super Fan.
I don't know. I feel like he just got a lot going on with his personal life, like with his like crazy ass son. And,
Does he? I don't know.
I think yeah.
Does he have a crazy son?
Yeah, he's got a crazy son. And then the
okay.
Scientology thing.
You got to take care of the crazy son.
Yeah, and Kelly Preston.
John
Didn't
Travolta.
he try to kill himself?
Kelly Preston died?
Yeah, Kelly Preston's dead.
Oh,
Who's that? His wife?
It was his wife.
Oh, okay,
That's
maybe yeah.
Yeah.
See, he's got a lot, and
All
I
right,
think he
he's
had
off
like
the hook.
he's off the hook. Yeah, I'm pretty sure his son had like a crazy suicide attempt too, or something. Yeah, he's just got in deep. I mean, that's what happens when you become a Scientologist. But that's who am I? Who am I to judge? But yeah, this sounds pretty cool. My opinion. I'm like, how? I haven't seen this movie, but I'm reading like rogue stealth bomber pilot Travolta tries to steal nuclear bombs with his co-pilot Slater and a park ranger in his way.
Yeah.
So, it's funny because park rangers, my first team leader, his mom would always like check in on us, and she'd always be like, so how are the park rangers doing? I'm pretty sure she thought we were park rangers, not army rangers the entire time.
There's a slight difference between an army and a park ranger.
It might have been an inside joke, but
they're both Americans.
Oh, yeah, totally Americans. Yeah, just one, worry about the humans versus the other one worry about wildlife.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
One conserves and the other one obliterates.
Yeah. One kills, the other preserves life.
Yeah. So yeah, dude, how does it end? You gotta tell me.
I forget, man. I mean, obviously the bad guys don't get away, and I think it's one of those. You guys,
John Travolta gets killed with a nuclear missile, but not by it like exploding. It literally like goes into him and kills him and crushes
it fires into him
on a train.
On a train?
Oh, don't they stop the train and then it like
that sounds pretty John Woo.
It like jolts forward and crushes him.
Oh, I thought it got like launched and he's just like in the way and it completely obliterates him.
Yeah.
No, like the train like stops suddenly or something, and it like flies off of its moorings and just like crushes him between like.
You gotta tie that thing down, man. Someone gotta tie that. Whoever put those ratchets down.
Nobody. They're
losing their job.
They don't teach stealth pilots not training. Training.
Cargo loads. It's not like that's an important thing or something.
They're not riggers.
Like totally not at all. But this one next on our list, I actually have experience with, and I can. Crimson Tide.
Wait, you do?
Yeah, I've seen this one.
Oh, okay. I thought you said you had experience with it. I'm like,
oh no.
What experience did you have?
Submarine. Yeah, I was in a nuclear submarine just because I somehow got there. And
there was
a
crisis.
For 6 months because it's nuclear and it doesn't come up.
And we've talked about this before.
On the submarine episode.
On the submarine episode.
Yeah, because obviously it has to do with submarines, and it's you have Sean Connery.
No, it's Gene Hackman. You're thinking of The Hunt for Red October.
Oh,
It's Gene Hackman and Denzel Washington.
Oh, okay,
There's
yeah.
a
And
commander
Denzel Washington
and an XO.
is like, he's the XO, right?
Yeah.
And they're trying to launch the codes, but he's like, you can't launch.
Yeah, there's this whole thing.
Mutiny.
There's like a tension in like Eastern, Europe, and there's this dictator guy, and they get like a partial transmission.
Yeah.
And they don't know if the transmission means that they should launch or that they should not launch.
Yeah, because the machine goes down. Their radio communications go down, and the last thing they hear is that they want to arm and shoot it. But then they're like, we need to wait for the secondary. But then, I remember. And then, who's the other character? Not Denzel Washington, but
Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman is like
the captain.
He's the captain, and he's like he wants to launch.
He's a little more like hard nosed, like
Yeah.
old school, and then Denzel Washington's kind of a younger, up and coming dude.
Yeah, XO.
Yeah.
His second in command. And they overthrow him, conduct a mutiny, and then it's a crazy movie. You know,
it's a good. It's like a good thriller. It's like not too
thriller.
many good movies like that nowadays, but it was very. I like it because of the. Because it's a thriller. It's not like a big time action movie, but it's like competing views of the world.
Yeah.
And they're and that's kind of the heart of the story is Denzel Washington and Gene Hackman kind of disagreeing about how things should go and whether or not they should take action and whether or not they should kind of go it alone.
Yeah. Plus, it's like a big deal, Yeah,
man.
The moral tug of war is like a big deal. It's like, do we launch this and kill thousands
and then possibly ignite World War III, or are we dropping the ball and not doing what we should be doing because it's already happening?
Yeah,
but we just don't know.
And then it's like, okay, well, if we don't launch this, and then the transmission was correct, they've launched first, and Americans die, or it's like, do we launch and kill a bunch of Russians and start nuclear war when there shouldn't be?
Yep.
Yeah, it's definitely a good one. It's funny. Speaking of Denzel Washington, I just watched Training Day.
No kidding. That's a classic, man.
That's a classic one. That's just a side note.
Have we done a cop show yet?
No, I don't.
Just Cops?
Yeah, we haven't done Just Cops.
We should do
though.
a cop show sometime.
Yeah, Training Day would definitely be on there.
That would definitely
be. He's a piece of shit in that movie. Huge. But anyways, Crimson Tide. I really like that movie. I think it does a good job showing how the Navy doesn't PT. What they do, he's like running in the submarine. That's like one of the things. Like, okay. That kind of gives you appreciation and like a kind of like, hey, I don't want to do that, is being a submarine crew, because like everything that you're supposed to keep, like your physical prowess, like obviously in the military, you know, health is huge.
Yep.
Like taking care of yourself, working out, like being in shape is like a big thing. But like, how do you do that when you're stuck?
You're stuck in a
tiny tin can
underneath
with nuclear power.
Ocean,
it's like, he just like literally runs on the rails, like back and forth. Do you know how many laps you would have to do?
Yeah.
Like you would be running for time, essentially, not for like distance.
Yeah,
totally.
Absolutely. Yeah, though I cannot imagine. I would not want to be on a submarine. Like we talked about this before. No. You might be underneath the ocean for weeks.
Yeah, you don't know.
Weeks at a time.
Plus, it's like, at least when you're driving like a Humvee or something, you can like maneuver it and you can see where the round is coming from. But in a submarine, there are no windows.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're relying on instrumentation
sonar.
only.
You're relying on sonar, and then it's like such a well-oiled machine, and you got to appreciate the communication that those guys have, because it's like you got the driver and the telescope dude and like the sonar operator, and he's calling out everything, and they have to adjust course based off like some dude's essay, and like if he says something wrong,
oh man,
like, if he accidentally reads the wrong number and you're like have to maneuver left,
misplaces the decimal point,
yeah, and then you're just like, oh god. Not to mention like underwater land navigation that's something that I respect that the SEALs do. It's like they have to do underwater land nav, where you're like you're swimming and your pace count is like
sea nav.
Yeah, sea nav. Yeah, that's something that like blew my mind. I went to a retreat with a couple SEALs and they were like explaining that, and I was like trying to think in my head. It's like, okay, what? And they're like, yeah, for your pace count, it's like how you have to learn how fast, you know how we like walk and how many steps you take for like 100 meters, but in water it's like how many fins do I do, you know, how many strokes do I make.
Oh, okay. How to pace distance.
Yeah, how to pace distance, because you don't have, it's the same thing, you're not given like GPS underwater.
That's cool.
And then not to mention there's like no land markers. It's just especially if it's just open water.
Yeah.
You're like your pace count, you literally need to be correct, otherwise you're screwed.
Yep.
So that's a whole different appreciation. But yeah, Crimson Tide, that's a really stressful movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think it does a good job of like bringing you in and having you feel the anxiety that crew has, because like it is a huge decision.
Yep. Under Siege, folks. Steven Seagal. Classic.
Steven Seagal, the greatest actor.
Classic Steven Seagal, man. Yeah. Well, not a very good actor. Really good at Aikido, apparently.
Aikido, yeah. Steven Seagal is like a sheriff too.
What?
Yeah, he's like
officially?
Yeah, like he's an official deputy.
Have you ever seen him? Have you ever seen his little Aikido demonstrations that he does?
No, I heard Steven Seagal is a nut.
I heard he's not a very nice person.
Yeah, but, especially from Clay, the one we do, the movie gun guy Clay.
Yeah.
Remember his Steven Seagal story?
Yeah,
he was telling us how he's just like, Steven Seagal pointed a gun at me one time, and I was just like, don't that.
Steven Seagal looks so. He's one of those guys that like he was like 98 pounds his whole career. Like he's super skinny dude, and you look at him today, and he's definitely embraced the Buddha within himself. Yeah.
It's all about redirection, man. Aikido.
Yeah, it is. And there's I took Aikido for a little while, and I think it's super cool, but it's one of those ones that's hard to train because everything you do is designed to like, you can like break people's joints and all that kind of stuff. So there's like a lot of cooperation in the training and stuff between you and your partner.
It's not meant to kill too. It's
it was
not a lethal. It's more of a lifestyle Aikido.
Well, yeah, and it was the person that started it. Side note. Was actually the son of like one of the last samurais that ever existed, and he wanted to like, it was actually originally designed to disarm swordsmen, so I thought about joint locks and throws and stuff,
and redirection
and so it's like very like non-confrontational. You're not attacking them, you're redirecting their energy.
Yeah, it's defensive fighting, essentially. But yeah, tell me about Under Siege, man.
Under Siege,
Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones is a terrorist, man.
I always, this is gonna sound funny, but every time I hear Tommy Lee Jones, and obviously Small Soldiers, right? He's in Small Soldiers.
Yep.
He's the voice of the commander, right, in Small Soldiers.
Yep, he is.
Every time I hear Tommy Lee Jones, I just think of Tommy Lee, the drummer.
You just think of Tommy Lee.
Yeah, Tommy Lee, for some reason. And like I read this, I was like, when did the drummer of Motley Crue, when did he become an actor?
He looks like a rocker in this movie. He's like the leader of the terrorists, and he's got like a studded jacket on and like a bandana. And I forget what his beef is. Usually it's like,
because he plays Two-Face, right? In the
he does play Two-Face in the not good Batman.
In the not
movies.
good Batman.
Yeah.
The nipples
Batman.
The
they call it the nipple era of Batman.
The nipple era of Batman.
Yeah, and Steven Seagal is the cook on this ship, but what they don't know is he's an ex-Navy SEAL.
Oh, perfect. Yeah,
and
he's lethal.
Who knows Aikido. And so the thing that I like about this movie is there's this the girl plays the stripper. That's not good. It's not good that she's in it like that. She pops out of the cake after everyone's like dead. Like she falls asleep or something, and then she pops out. Steven Seagal's like right there, and she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And
I fell asleep. Yeah. Worst stripper ever.
Yeah, like
you have one job. Way to fall asleep on the job, there, lady. What is that? Erica Eleniak?
Yeah, Erica Eleniak. But my favorite part of this movie is at the end. Steven Seagal has like snuck into the command center. And he's like kind of lured, I think, Tommy Lee Jones outside. And Tommy Lee Jones is outside on the deck when the main gun fires.
Oh my god!
And he gets like thrown back, and he like can't hear anything and stuff, and like he would have been dead. But like I just love that, and he goes back down. The only thing I don't like about Steven Seagal movies is that
they exist or what?
Well, yeah, and it just no back then, but like he never has a problem in his fights. Like it's never like a back and forth. It's always him doing. It's like one move,
like him decimating.
Yeah,
people.
he just decimates everybody. He never has a problem fighting any of the dudes, and so. That's kind of it's like a letdown at the end when he fights Tommy Lee Jones. He like totally crushes him. You know?
Really?
Like,
this was never a threat. I'm gonna go back to making pancakes.
Yeah, he throws his head into like a
ghosties.
The lights. He throws his head into like a computer screen and crushes his head. It's like
that's kind of sad.
Yeah,
like especially when you like build up this antagonist.
That's sad.
Super sad.
Super sad.
It's like emotional damage.
Emotional damage.
But yeah, it's like you spend all this time building an antagonist up to be like a formidable opponent, and it's really disappointing when like the main protagonist just gets his hands on him and just crushes.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like, well, why didn't you just do that to begin with? Like.
Yep.
It takes away the entire purpose of the movie.
That's every Steven Seagal movie. What they have to do, usually a Steven Seagal movie, what they have to do to give him like something to come back from is that he'll get like caught in an explosion or like his place will get shot up or something and he'll get injured, like hard to kill or whatever, or on deadly ground. Like they'll blow him up first and then he'll have to recover, and that'll be the only challenge that he faces in the movie. Yeah. Everything else is just him fighting and doing like one move and killing all the bad guys, like redirecting their energy.
Steven Seagal, but it looks like Gary Busey's in here too.
Gary Busey, I think he's like. Is he like one of the minions, or is he like?
I don't know, because I saw Gary Busey and I was like, okay, now I have to watch this movie because Gary Busey is a nut.
He is a nut.
He is a nut. Did you watch the wife swap episode with Gary Busey?
No, there's a wife swap.
There's a celebrity wife swap with Gary Busey, and he is crazy.
He is crazy.
Like but his like wife is super young, and like he has a kid, a brand new kid, when he's like in his 60s, 70s.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, dude,
you better keep working out, man, because it's gonna be like he'll be in his 80s when his kid graduates from college.
School.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Gary Busey's a nut. Nuts. But let's move on to another one. It looks like you got Dark Knight Rises on here. Is that a nuclear?
A nuclear bomb is at the center of kind of the main threat.
I thought it's a new weapon that can vaporize H2O. It's not necessarily nuclear.
That's Batman Begins.
That's Batman Begins. That's the vaporizing
Dark Knight
thing.
Rises.
That's and if it would have got in the Nolan trilogy.
Yeah,
third one. Yeah.
With Talia al Ghul.
Yeah, it's a nuclear bomb, and he like rides off in the sunset with his little bat chopper. And
he gets rid of the bomb, and you think he's dead, but then he meets Michael Caine at the cafe.
Yes.
Now break your body.
I'm sorry, I always mess these up. So you got what? Batman Begins, and then you got The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm caught up now.
He decided to change the titles partway through, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at the end, what is it? Who's the Talia al Ghul? She's revealed to be Talia al Ghul, his love interest or partial love interest or whatever.
You got that parody of it. He's like, but we totally had sex last night.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Yeah.
I forget that. I always forget that guy's name. That comedian who does the Bad Man parodies and stuff.
Those are funny. But yeah, that's a good movie. Bane's obviously with Tom Hardy is a great villain.
Dude, he's always taking risks, that Tom Hardy, man.
Yeah, always.
With the voice that I want to.
Yeah, he plays very, very dynamic. I feel like Tom Hardy's always the bad guy. Except for Venom, which technically he is an anti-hero.
Well, he's in, he's Mad Max, he's the good guy. Yeah. Bit of an anti-hero on that one, but...
Dunkirk, he's a good guy.
Dunkirk, he's a good guy. He's a
great
guy in that movie.
I'm thinking of, I just watched The Revenant again. And
he is. He plays a good bad guy. You really don't like him.
Man, that movie is crazy. That movie is nuts. I mean, it takes them months to even get back to the fort, and they're all rugged and stuff.
No nuclear bombs, though.
No nuclear bombs in The Revenant.
Yeah, okay.
But his performance was the bomb.
Yeah, losing the thread.
Oh, can we talk about this one, man?
Go for it. We can do anything. It's our podcast.
True Lies, baby.
True Lies.
90s, was that 90s action movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, directed by James Cameron, baby, starring Jamie Lee Curtis.
Your favorite director of all
Dude,
time.
Yeah, I do. I would love to work with him before he dies.
He had a string of 5 movies that were untouchable. It was Aliens, Terminator 2, Terminator, True Lies, and then... I don't know. The Abyss is in there.
Yeah, The Abyss is in there. No, totally.
I've never seen this movie.
Dude, you got to watch this movie.
A nuclear bomb.
Is it a
The Abyss, you're right. Yeah, at the heart of the story, nuclear bomb. Yeah, so
I've never seen True Lies. I'm looking
Harry
at
Tasker, baby. Harry Tasker is he's a CIA agent he's a government agent, but his wife and kid don't know that he is a government agent. Actually, his kid is Eliza Dushku. Yeah, a young Eliza Dushku.
Wait, is this the? I might have seen. Is this where the villain dies from a fighter jet?
Yeah,
Like
he fires him on a missile.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I
says you're
have
fired.
seen this movie,
Yeah.
but I don't remember anything about it.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
totally.
so good. It's a comedy action movie because Jamie Lee Curtis gets caught up in the action, and she gets kidnapped with him, and they get taken. And it's actually kind of it's funny because you could not do this nowadays, but the bad guy he's an Islamic terrorist. It's the Crimson Jihad.
The Crimson Jihad.
And you can't say that anymore. They got to be Russians.
There's a great line in the movie where they're they're doing like intel on the guy, and they say his nickname is the Desert Spider, and they're like, why? And he goes, probably because it sounds really scary.
So a classic Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, huh?
Yeah, really good one. One of the top ones.
I have to rewatch this one.
Tia Carrere's in it back in her heyday. She plays the bad lady, Juno Skinner.
Yeah.
Really good spy movie, really good action movie. Tom Arnold is like Arnold Schwarzenegger's bumbling guy in the van, like his help, his
so
co-agent.
where's the Nuke incorporated?
The Crimson Jihad acquires a nuke, and they have it in the Florida Keys, and they have to, they're driving it into town to basically set it off, to detonate it.
Well, there's two bombs. There's one.
There's two bombs.
Yeah, they bury one in concrete in the Florida Keys to detonate it so that people don't think they're f***ing around, and then they take another one into the city.
That's right, yeah, and it's a race against time. And Arnold Schwarzenegger ends up flying a Harrier jet, and that's where you get up into the buildings, the tall buildings, and he shoots the guy off on the missile. And Bill Paxton's in it. Bill Paxton plays this great skeezy used car salesman that his wife, Jamie Lee Curtis, like he's never around, so she kind of dabbles in kind of like having an affair, and Bill Paxton is. He's pretending to be an actual secret agent, but he's just a skeezy used car salesman. Yeah. And he's like trying to lure Jamie Lee Curtis in, and Jamie Lee Curtis ends up chickening out, and she goes away. But then like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Tom Arnold kidnap Bill Paxton, and they like make him think that like they think he is an agent. Oh no, they're at his mobile home.
They know he's not an agent.
They know.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, they go to his mobile home and they do this whole like fake raid on his place, and they kidnap, they take her, Arnold Schwarzenegger, they're all masked and everything, and they take Bill Paxton, and don't they like say like we know that you're a spy, and stuff like that, and he's like no I'm not a spy. I was like,
we know that you are a spy.
Yeah, he's like I'm not a spy, I'm just a used car salesman. He's like, I've got a really small penis, it's really pathetic, man, you gotta let me go. Yeah. And they say,
it's pathetic, man. It's micro.
He's like never, and they like let him go, but they totally embarrass him. They like bring him to the edge of a dam, and like they're gonna push him off. Oh, so they just want to really scare him.
Scare him because they know he's been posing as one.
Yeah, they want to teach him a lesson.
I have to rewatch this movie.
And then they make
definitely worth a rewatch.
It's definitely worth a rewatch. It's a really good movie.
And speaking of Arnold Schwarzenegger, we have another one here by the Don. Terminator 2, Judgment Day.
Terminator 2.
Yeah.
This is not.
Come with me if you want to live.
This is not stopping a nuclear bomb. This is trying to stop. Well, this is trying to stop the nuclear bombs.
Yeah.
Right?
So synopsis.
Yeah.
In 1995 in Los Angeles, John's mother Sarah, and that's Sarah Connor, has been incarcerated at Pescadero State Hospital for her violent, fanatical efforts to prevent Judgment Day, the prophesized events of August 29, 1997, when Skynet will gain sentience and, in response to the creator's attempt to deactivate it, incite a nuclear holocaust. So that's how it weasels its way into this one.
Yes.
So pretty much trying to prevent a nuclear holocaust from Skynet going online.
Yep.
But pinnacle action movie.
Yeah, so good. This is a classic.
This is better than the original, in my opinion. Judgment Day is good.
Or the first Terminator.
Yeah, then the first one.
And then Judgment Day is the sequel, yeah.
Yeah,
it's even
the best
better.
one. Yeah, just because I just like how Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator is like a protagonist this time, when in the first one, they were like running from him.
Yeah.
And he doesn't say a word.
Yeah,
he
has like a few lines, and like he's just an unstoppable killing machine.
Yeah, when they see him, or at least I remember the scene when they break Sarah Connor out of the crazy ward, and she sees him, and she's like, ah!
Yeah. And then he
she's
has
like,
the classic
no, he's
line.
with us now. Let's go.
And he's like, come with me if you want to live.
Come with me if you want to live. One of the most famous lines in all of Hollywood.
Yep.
Plus I like how the what's the antagonist?
Robert
name?
Patrick.
Yeah.
He plays the T-1000.
Yeah, and he's a cop the entire
Very
time.
sleek liquid metal guy.
Liquid metal stuff. Yeah, you got Robert Patrick, the T-1000, and he's the new new and improved Terminator, essentially. Yeah, and he can stop bullets and everything.
Yeah.
It's just good. I love the scene when they're at the cemetery. And like he basically goes and he breaks down that grave. I don't know whose grave it is, but
you're conflating this one and Terminator 3.
That's Terminator 3
That's Terminator
when he
3.
grabs the weapon cache.
Rise of the Machines, yeah.
Oh, that's that one.
Yeah, the weapon cache.
Never mind. I take back everything I said.
It's still that movie was definitely not as good as Terminator 2.
No, I think it was more cinematic.
Yeah, I mean, it had some. It's that premise. Is something you can't just keep doing that premise. Like we're trying to stop, and like I guess they tried to do something different with Terminator Salvation, where it's during the robot war
again.
Yeah,
again.
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly. But no, Terminator 2: Judgment Day has so many it's just a well-made story. It has so many memorable scenes. It's like Aliens, another James Cameron movie. I mean that at the end when they go with Miles Dyson to go and blow up all the files and they get the arm that was from the first one in the computer ship.
Yeah.
And like where he walks out with the minigun and like he blows away all the cars, but then he doesn't kill anybody because John Connor says he's like, I swear I will not to kill anyone.
Yeah.
He's not allowed to kill anybody. And just so cool set pieces at the end.
Doesn't he shoot a guy in the leg? He's like, I didn't kill them.
Yeah, it says he'll live.
Yeah. Live. And this is just going back to in our Ninja episode when like Shredder had the hand come up and that was like the end of it. But his Arnold Schwarzenegger's death in this movie, he like puts his hand up and he just gives the thumbs up as he's like going into the magma.
And I'm like crying, dude. I remember seeing that as a kid. I was like weeping. I'm like, don't let the Terminator die.
No, he risked it all for you.
And then they had Dark Fate, where in the first 30 seconds they totally invalidate all the events of Terminator 2: Judgment Day.
Oh my god!
What a great film!
What's
Terminator:
that?
Dark Fate.
Dark Fate, is that a reboot?
Yeah, it's the last movie that came out.
Oh, I haven't even seen it.
Don't see it.
Don't
Never see it. Anybody, if you're listening to the sound of my voice, don't see that movie because they basically in the first 30 seconds of that movie completely invalidate the events of Terminator 2.
Why?
But that you want me to tell you?
Yeah,
spoilers.
might as well. I don't give a shit.
So Terminator 2: Judgment Day, they're riding off into the dark night, and Sarah Connor says, "For the first time in my life, I have a sense of hope for the future because if a Terminator can learn the value of a human life, maybe we can too." She goes off, and they go to Mexico, and they're sitting in Mexico having Mai Tais, and it's all cool. And then a Terminator walks up and kills John Connor, shoots him in the chest, and then like walks away and leaves Sarah Connor there, and it's like.
Dude. Oh, so you hate it just because you're like, what the?
I hate that movie. Here's the thing. The problem with the premise of, the savior of the world and the robots send a robot back from the future to the past, and then the resistance people also send a protector back from the future to the past. Like, there's only so many ways you can slice that premise, And Dark Fate it's literally the same premise.
Well, I mean,
only
you can keep redoing it and redoing it. We saw that in Rick and Morty on Snake Jazz, dude.
It's true.
Yeah.
But like they do it only badly. It's the same thing, only badly done.
Oh, okay.
And they just basically, like they do with a lot of movie characters and time-honored intellectual properties, it's a series of deconstructions. Like Sarah Connor comes back and she's embittered, and she's just an embittered old woman, but they just brought her back for nostalgia reasons. They brought Arnold Schwarzenegger back for nostalgia reasons, and he like sells upholstery, and he's like faking a life with like this Mexican lady and stuff. And
is he a robot?
Yeah, he's still himself, but he's like I came back and I decided that I would, after I killed John Connor, I've decided I guess I would grow a conscience or something. I forget what happens.
It's dumb. It's
so
life
stupid.
As a robot that has like no feeling. Yeah,
and
good sell. Nice hard sell there,
I sell
buddy.
upholstery as a guy named Carl or whatever. It's so dumb. Can we just move on?
Dude. Let's pick one. Let's see.
All right.
But I mean, all in all, the Terminators are there to stop a nuclear war.
Yeah, I mean, the first couple are, and then they just go off they just go off the rails.
Yeah, off the nuclear thing, and with that.
We're going to get
to our nuclear agenda and move to one that does.
We can't talk about nuclear weapons without talking about the classic 80s movie War Games with Matthew Broderick.
Okay.
Where he's basically like a computer nerd and he unknowingly like hacks into NORAD, where there's like this super intelligent supercomputer that's like in charge of all of the United States nuclear bombs, and he like starts playing games with it. And he doesn't realize that he's actually interacting with a computer that controls real nuclear weapons.
Interesting.
And you know,
because this guy's just a nerdy little kid that I'm looking at.
Yeah, it's super classic. I love it. Just it's that Cold War era, right? Where there are so many movies in the 70s and 80s about the threat of nuclear war, right? Because it was the two superpowers, us and Russia. We both had nuclear weapons. You know, what's going to happen? It was like that fear, you know. And so there are so many movies that had that as like their background. Even, you know, like 80s movies like Dreamscape with Dennis Quaid. There was that backdrop of that was the president being afraid that he was the one that was going to start World War III and kill everybody, you know. So yeah, really cool the idea that this kid can hack in. And like at the end, I think he has to he has to like get the computer to play all these like alternate scenarios where it's like the whole point is in this game, nobody wins. Like, and so the computer says there are no winners, so it's best not to play. And that's kind of the story, the morality. It's like, you guys, we're going to destroy ourselves, so maybe we should just not, you know?
Yeah, because like there is no winner with the nuclear bomb.
Yeah.
Okay.
Global thermonuclear war, yeah.
Well, I mean, this guy, he's obviously very young in this movie.
Yeah, Matthew Broderick, man.
Yeah, what else? Is this Ferris Bueller?
That's Ferris Bueller, man.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out where I know this guy
I think that was just before Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah, it has to be because he's got long hair.
Dude, he had a string of amazing 80s movies like Lady Hawk and Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah,
and stuff
totally.
Like that, so.
Matthew Broderick. Yeah, look at him. Look at that bowl cut. Wow.
He looks like
I used to have hair like that when I was a kid.
Yeah, he looks like Will Byers from Stranger Things.
Yeah. That's great. Well, I want to talk about you put the Wolverine on here. Atomic bomb dropped on here.
Yeah, it's just in the beginning. It's only an honorable mention, but it's just in the beginning, obviously, because that's the start, the pre-credit sequence.
Yeah, because they were there. They helped drop the bomb,
He was there. Well, no, he was a prisoner of the Japanese when they were coming to drop the bomb, and he ends up saving another dude's life by kind of shielding him from the blast, and he gets all like burnt and stuff like that, but he heals.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was just in the beginning. You know, they're dropping the bomb on Hiroshima.
Got to keep the nuclear thread going.
Yeah.
Well, talking about video games with a nuclear thread, we all know that we've reacted to this one on Gameology so many times. So many times.
Which one?
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, not to mention in the campaign, you
General
have like...
Shepard, man.
Yeah, cold black! Was
Yep.
it? When the nuke goes off, there's like, we got a cold black!
Yep.
Nuke's in the air!
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep,
so
exactly.
that's a good one. Not to mention on multiplayer, if you get a 25 kill streak, you get to nuke them and win the game.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, that's one where General Shepard manipulates basically world powers into kind of reigniting the spirit of American patriotism by allowing a nuclear attack to happen on American soil. Like he blows up. It's like Washington, D.C., right?
I think they EMP Washington, D.C. Like Russia invades was a big thing. And like, remember you, as Army Rangers, you like fight in the Midwest against the Russians trying to invade.
You're like fighting through neighborhoods. And
it's
like,
just all
like
manipulation between superpowers and like, to launch a nuclear bomb to kind of just like push his agenda of what he wants to happen.
Yeah. And
the
Shepard
Makarov thing. Yeah. But that's honestly, even though it's Call of Duty and like a lot of people think it's Hollywood, it's a great storyline.
Yeah.
Like it's really fun to play that campaign. I can still play it to this day and have a good time, even though I know exactly what happens.
And you got the epic portrayal of General Shepard that like it scarred a generation of gamers.
Ghost.
He kills Ghost and who else? Oh shoot, you guys are gonna hate me for this because we've like watched this so many times. But anyway, he kills the two characters.
The only one that matters is Ghost.
Sets him on fire with petrol. But like, they got the other one coming out. They got the Modern Warfare Remake 2.
Yeah, which I'm very intrigued to see because Ghost is in it apparently, and it's like I don't know if it's before the events of that.
It's a remake, so it's like a separate timeline kind of thing.
Separate timeline,
like just,
alternate universe.
Yeah, Modern Warfare 1, 2, 3, and 4, or whatever. Separate thing, and then this is like the reboot that started in 2019, which we've reacted to, and this is the sequel to the reboot.
I actually applied to be a mocap guy on Modern Warfare 2. Yeah, I got really far in the process, but then they're like, because they were, I remember they posted an ad for Rangers to do it, and a couple of my buddies have been doing it, so they'll be in the game. And like they came down to me and they're like, how tall are you? And I was like, tall enough. And they're like, are you 6 foot? And I just said, in heels. And like, I couldn't fit in the suit apparently they had, so I couldn't do it. So I was like, damn it! I could have been in Modern Warfare 2 as one of the characters, but yeah, whatever.
Your moment will come, Cam.
Yeah, our moment will come. We'll be our own skins in the multiplayer, hopefully here soon. So if you know anybody at at Activision, let us know. We'll get it.
We got to get in that Warzone action. We got to be some extra skins.
Yeah, if Ronan can do it, we can do it.
We can do it.
Oh, yeah.
Last one, or if you want to, I just really want to get this out here. The Fallout series.
Yeah, man.
I
haven't played them. I know you have.
Super. This is what happens when you have an alternate reality or an alternate past, or rather alternate future, where the bombs do go off. And everybody is scarred. You got the mutants. You got the super mutants. You got the irradiated ghouls and stuff like that. And basically, civilization is trying to rebuild itself. I've played 3. We're actually playing through New Vegas on stream right now on Fridays. And then they got 4, which we'll play as we continue on. But I love, because it's a...
Join Izzy on stream.
Yeah, join Izzy on stream. Twitch.tv/myhappyself.
Myself.
But the retro future, right?
Yeah.
It's what we thought the future would look like back in the 50s and 40s.
Flying cars.
Yeah, the whole flying cars, the kind of like cool... that kind of design and stuff.
Tomorrowland.
Yeah,
Join
exactly.
Walt Disney.
The wave of the future.
Yeah, the wave of the future.
Today.
Toasters. They can,
Yeah, radiation is good for you. Yeah. But super cool because it's open world. And New Vegas, I'm finding there's a real like strong fan following for New Vegas, and I can understand why, because there are so many intersecting storylines and so many different factions that are vying for power that you could really slice it any way. It's a game you don't play once, right? Because once you start getting to know all the different factions and what they want, you can find out how to pit them against. You can choose what you want to do. Do you want to be powerful? Do you want to be like non-combatant? Do you want to help the NCR? Do you want to help Mr. House? Do you want to help the cons? Or the Caesar's Legion and stuff. So there's all these different power struggles going on that you're right in the center of it. It's super cool.
Can you like go back and like work with another person to kind of defile what you've built up?
Yeah. Well,
so the game doesn't end, really.
Ultimately, I think there's a moment of choice where you have to finish the game a certain way. But up until that point, you can see and manipulate different factions to try to find out which option you like best.
Interesting. That sounds fun, man. It sounds like it can't get boring.
It's so much fun, and I think it has a lot of replay value, and I can see why people like that so much. I haven't played 4, which I've heard that wasn't the most popular one out of all of them, but super cool design, and it's a classic, like we've talked about before, post-apocalyptic war game or open world like RPG, where just a super cool like classic post-apocalyptic type of vision. Like we've had a lot of different visions of the future of what it would look like if civilization fell. This is like one of those classic ones. Like the bombs drop, and then the ghouls and super mutants are out there, and the vault dwellers come out of their caves, and then we rebuild society, and it's like, 30, 40 years after we've started to try to do that. So really fun game series.
Dude, yeah, that sounds pretty badass here. Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I'll have to play that. Drink a beer.
It's really fun.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, man, I think we've talked enough about nuclear video games and nuclear movies. Let's move on to our fan question, and this one comes to us from Danimalistic on Instagram, and Danimalistic wants to know, what is the most powerful weapon you guys have ever used?
Nuclear bomb.
Nuclear bomb.
It's classified. I can't talk about it.
Oh, man. I'm thinking, what about you go first, because I'm just looking up the kill rates.
Honestly, man, in the short time that I was in the military, I could fire off a few cool weapons. I think probably in terms of sheer devastation, I had a range day out in Iraq, actually, where we were shooting off the Mark 19, the 40 millimeter automatic grenade launcher. You just hold that trigger down, it's just chunk, 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 and you listen, and it's like, I mean, you could, like a Hicks says, like Hudson says in Aliens, he's like, you could level an entire city block with this baby.
Yeah, you can. With the Mark 19, that thing is badass, dude.
Yeah.
And that was like your guys'... You had a lot of them.
Yeah,
well, we had
one of ours. It was mounted onto one of our Humvees when we would go out, because we only went out with 2 Humvees, so we had a 50 cal on one and a Mark 19 on the other.
Yeah, we had the Mark 19 on one of the defense positions on deployment, and like we typically didn't use Mark 19s because that was like big army stuff. We had Mark 47s, which are a more advanced. They're a computerized Mark 19.
Like on a Crow system?
Not on they can be mounted on a Crow system, but just like the Mark 19 can be mounted on Crow as well. But this thing literally has a laser targeted direction monitor that you can literally you plug in where you want to shoot. Like it has a little joystick. It's like literally a video game, but it's a weapon system, and literally you on the crosshair you just put where you want, and then you press lock and the gun goes kick. and then you just pull the trigger, and so you don't even have to aim the thing yourself. It literally goes to where it wants to, and it's guided, and literally you can put like 5 rounds right on top of each other at like 300, 400 meters. Yeah, the thing is gnarly, but that's not the biggest gun I've shot. So the one I've actually used on deployment in like real life against people would be a 120 millimeter mortar system.
That's right, baby. Yeah.
So that is the heaviest mortar you can shoot out of a tube, and
it's pretty big. You showed me like a dummy round.
I showed you. I've showed you a 60 round.
Oh my gosh! So you showed me one is half the size.
Half the size of it. Yeah, the 120 mortar is like it's heavy. Like you need to two-hand it to put it in. I have a video of me shooting them. I'll show you.
Nice.
But the range on that thing is about 7,200 to 9,500 meters. So we're talking like 4 or 5 miles.
Oh my
of where you can
gosh!
shoot, and the kill radius of it is 30 meters.
30 meters?
30 meters.
Wow.
So you want to talk about things you could level an entire block with?
A regular frag grenade is like 5 meters, right?
Yeah, 5 meters. So imagine times 6.
Yeah.
That's the impact, and then it's 100 meter incapacitate.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's a big boy, man, and we'd get like fire missions to shoot 12 of them on one spot. So you want to talk about leveling an entire city block. That's the mortar system to do it. And I shot hundreds of those rounds overseas. It was so that's the biggest gun I've ever shot. We also had the 84 millimeter Carl Gustav.
Yeah,
which is
I shot AT4s.
Yeah, AT4s and stuff, big boom stuff, but that would be the biggest round that I personally have shot in combat.
Nice, good answer. Good answer, Cam.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks, Dan Ballistic, for that question. So now we have
it.
a game, huh?
Game, Chris.
We do have a game.
What is the game?
This game is named after Cam's favorite song, Radioactive. That's the name of the game.
Radioactive.
Radioactive.
That's your favorite song, Cam. Yes, it is, 100%.
I guess it is now.
It is now. Who are you to argue? So the worst part about nuclear bombs is the radiation, but a benefit, in pop culture at least, is it gives people powers. So
that's right.
Yes.
I'm going to name a movie or game character, and you tell me if they got their power from radiation.
How do you come up with this shit, man?
Nice,
You're
man.
good
I
at
like
these.
you are good at
this
coming
is
with these games, man.
This is going to be a good one. Let's do it.
All right, so the warm-up is Godzilla.
Godzilla, yes.
That is
Easy.
classic. That was actually the first Godzilla. The Japanese production was a commentary on the devastation of nuclear power,
Yeah.
And because they were doing I don't know if they were doing experiments or whatever, but undersea explosions of nuclear weapons, Godzilla was awakened. And
he was awakened.
He attacked.
Awaken.
So yes, he is radioactive from nuclear bomb tests.
Yeah.
All right, are we ready to
that's
go?
That's the warm-up, so
That's
we're
the
not
warm-up.
getting any easier.
Oh, that's just the warm-up.
That's
They're not going to get
that was
any
just the
easier
warm-up,
than
though I do appreciate your very deep dive on the creation of Godzilla. All right, here we go.
Here we go.
The Hulk.
The Hulk. Well, he was gamma radiation.
That was gamma radiation. He was doing experiments with gamma radiation. So he was exposed to high levels and became superhuman.
Yeah, so he is radiation. That would be, he is radioactive.
He is radioactive, correct. Gamma rays.
Yes.
I'm very impressed, Cam. All right, next
Thanks,
one.
Man. I know some things.
You do. You blow me out of the water sometimes. I love it. Okay.
Yes. Gamma radiations are also the highest intensity of radiation you can get.
Oh, you turn into Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah, they have very high wavelengths. They're very high frequency.
Yeah.
Or a lawyer.
Yes.
Okay. 11 from Stranger Things.
11 from Stranger Things. You just been watching. I don't remember.
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely
not. She was
not.
built in a lab, right?
No. She was born with psychic powers and stuff. She was born special.
With eagle powers.
Yes. they didn't do any like radiation therapy on her. She just had powers. Or
really?
she developed powers. Yeah.
Correct. Not radioactive. She's just born that way.
Nice, Lady Gaga.
She's on the right track, baby. She's just born that way.
All right. Cole McGrath. He's the protagonist in the infamous video game series. That's the name of the video game, is Infamous. I don't know if you guys have ever played it, but it's fun.
I've only played Second Son, which is really strange.
McGrath.
Yeah. Cole McGrath.
Does he have eagle powers?
I mean, he does have powers, but are they from radiation?
Radiation. I'm trying to think of the second one and how he gets his powers, but I can't remember. I remember not liking the game all that much, even though it was cool to like be free roaming. I'm gonna say no.
I will
that's a
say
guess.
yes.
Division.
Just to split it.
Cam says yes. Izzy says no, or no, other way. Yes.
No,
I
you're
say
right.
no.
I
Cam
say
says
yes.
Yes.
He
Cam
said
says yes. Izzy says no. He is not radioactive.
Oh,
Yes.
not radioactive.
He
In
got
the
his
face,
powers
Cam.
from a high-tech weapon explosion, and then he can control electricity.
Nice.
So
Cool.
he's just a douchebag, huh?
Radioactive.
You wouldn't have said that if you got it right. Okay.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Yes.
I'm somewhat of a scientist myself.
I'm something of a scientist myself.
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
he's radioactive. Well, which
He was
one?
bitten by a radioactive spider.
Radioactive spider.
So you could
which-
say radiation.
Yeah, you could say radiation, I guess.
He is radioactive because he was bitten by a radioactive spider.
Yes.
Yes.
I didn't want to muddy it with rules making the game, so just if the genesis of their powers stems from radiation, it counts.
Right.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Well,
Simple
thanks
enough.
for that one.
Dr. Manhattan from Watchmen.
Dr. Manhattan from what? Is that the one with all the ink blots on his face?
No, that's
No, that's Rorschach.
That's Rorschach.
He's the blue guy.
Oh, he's the blue guy?
Yeah, he's got a little circle.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
dot.
yeah. He's radioactive, totally.
I thought that.
Because he's full nude all the time.
Yeah, he is full nude all the time, but he was like nuclear, like particle accelerated into nothingness, and then he reconstituted himself. But I'm guessing maybe just from the comic, he reconstituted himself. He was particle accelerated. I'm gonna say yes because if I'm remembering from the comic book, it's like classic comic book tropes, and he's the only one who's actually a superhero. So I'm gonna say yes.
Yes.
I'm saying yes.
He is radioactive. It was an accident
all right.
during an intrinsic field experiment, and he's disintegrated. But the intrinsic
Yeah.
field is radiation, so.
Oh, okay,
There we
And
go.
then he has to
All
like build himself. It's actually a really neat
Yeah.
part of the comic. All right.
Yeah.
Nuclear Man from Superman 4.
Nuclear Man from. I wonder.
Very difficult.
Watch it just throw us through a loop.
No, I'm going to say yes because Superman 4 is the quest for peace, another Cold War era kind of hang on because Superman throws a bunch of nuclear bombs into the sun, but Lex Luthor takes a part of his DNA and gets like an incubator in there and puts it in with the bomb, so when they get thrown into the sun, Nuclear Man is made. And he is his rival and his nemesis.
Oh, interesting. I've never heard of Nuclear Man.
Yeah. Well,
So
it wasn't a very good movie.
Okay. Oh, it's a movie?
Yeah, it's a movie. It's 4 Superman movies with Christopher Reeve, and that was the last and least good one.
Okay, so yes, he is nuclear.
Yes, he is radioactive. And then throughout the movie, he gets his power directly from the sun. So, like, Superman gets his power from the sun, but, like, this dude, if he's in the shade, he doesn't have any power. He, like,
Right.
powers down.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's
And
kind of
doesn't
a
he like
wiener.
That's kind
he
of
kind of whacks him into the surface of the moon and buries him? And that's
Yeah,
how
he's
he
in
defeats him?
like an elevator, and he throws him on the dark side of the moon. But the problem is the dark side of the moon eventually gets sun, and then he wakes back
Oh.
up and he's pissed.
Oh, okay.
Last one. You guys you're good. Izzy, you're 100%. Cam, you've only missed one.
Yep.
All right, The Flash. Barry Allen.
Flash. That's a hard. How did I actually don't know how the Flash got?
He got his powers. There was an explosion from, an experiment.
Wasn't it like a particle accelerator?
Yeah, it was like a particle accelerator. But
I don't think it's radiation.
I don't think it was
I think it was a particle
radioactive.
accelerator that exploded, and he had his DNA intertwined with it. Now I'm
Yeah.
thinking of the Flash series.
Yeah,
I
I'm
watched,
thinking
like,
of the
first
series.
couple episodes.
I actually don't know.
I'm gonna say no. I think it was a particle. Particle accelerator, which wasn't radiation. It just he got mixed up in it, and it basically accelerated. That's what gave him his powers.
Yeah, I'm going to say the same thing. No, not radioactive.
Not radioactive.
He's not radioactive. I was going off of the original origin, and it's lightning strikes his lab and splashes him with all these chemicals, and that's what gives him his powers. So,
That's right.
Izzy, you
that's
got
right.
100% again.
Yes.
Wow.
Cam,
Way to go.
I continue
You
my
got
climb from the
whatever.
Can I throw a wild card in there that just hit me?
Sure.
Can I do that?
Are you the game master now?
I can take over. I just want to see if you okay. And this is from a recent one of my favorite shows currently. The Boys.
Oh.
Soldier Boy. Is Soldier Boy radioactive?
Oh man.
I know the answer.
I mean,
Yeah, Chris has been watching.
I haven't finished the whole series.
Hey, you haven't.
Does it reveal something later on, or are we supposed to know by the time he blasts with like?
Oh yeah, you know. Yeah.
That'd be yes. I'd feel like that's radioactive.
Is you saying he's radioactive?
Yeah.
Chris?
yeah, he's radioactive.
Yes. After he was captured by the Russians and they experiment on him, he is Radioactive. But before, he was not.
He was just Soldier Boy.
Yeah, that's a great show, man. That's my favorite show.
I got to finish that series because I haven't watched the last couple episodes.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, you should watch the last couple episodes. It's good. It's really good.
It's gross, too.
It is gross. It's super hero-gasm.
Guys going inside pee holes is gross.
I know. Not so. But cool. So
That's it.
You kept it going, man. 100%. I just wanted to throw that in there to try to break you down. But hey, that didn't work.
You cannot stop the nerd-gasm.
You cannot stop the nerd, baby. Okay, folks. Well, we hope you enjoyed that game. Chris, thanks a ton. It's always
game,
fun.
man.
Every time you come up with a game, I know we're going to have a great time.
Yep.
Absolutely, folks. We forgot to plug these in, but hey, if you got a question, let us know by sending us an email to pcfmpodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. That's where we get our fan questions, and we love to interact with you. We got the Patreon going.
Folks, Patreon, yes.
Yes. If
PCFM
you
Podcast on Patreon.
can't get enough of the Pop Culture Field Manual podcast, we got a little bit more for you. Exclusive content on the Patreon. Interact with Izzy and I a little bit more on a intimate level. You won't see anything weird, but
get to know us.
There's some cool, fun things that you guys can be a part of if you want to get a little bit more out of this podcast action. So head on over to our Patreon. Check it out. That would be awesome. If you want to donate to the podcast, make sure you go on to our Instagram and follow the links to Buy Me a Coffee. Buy Me a Coffee is a platform where you can donate funds to the podcast. A big thank you to everybody that's bought us a coffee so far. You're making this podcast a reality.
I love you.
And allowing us to keep on going. Izzy, you have a badass Twitch.
Follow me on twitch.tv/myhappyself. If you guys want to hang out with me, we play all sorts of fun military and sci-fi related games Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Check it out, man.
Cool, man. Well, we hope you guys had a good time. Cue music.